Hi, it's Dan from Kai's on Sports, and today we're going to look at how we differentiate within PE lessons. So we're going to imagine that we're delivering PE this week and we have both Jack and Sophie in our group. Sophie strives ahead, Jack always struggles. So we're going to use a step principle today to look at how we can challenge both children within the same session. So now we're going to look at how we can use space, areas and zones to change the difficulty level for both participants. It's a normal game of TIG. This is our playing area. We've got Jack, we've got Sophie, and we've got loads of other participants, the rest of the class. They're trying to stay away from the Tiggers. One of the things we can do is we can employ a safe zone. So all we're going to do in the middle of the area is put in a box, and Jack can use that box at any time that he thinks he's going to get tagged. It is more difficult for Sophie because she doesn't have that luxury. We can also look to use different areas as well. So for example, we could cut our playing area into two. Jack's got the luxury of being able to move wherever he wants. Sophie just has to stay within inside one of the halves. Because she's got less space available to her, it's going to be that much more difficult to keep away from those defenders. The next one we're going to look at is the task. So the task, for example, might be you score 5 points every time you move from one corner of the playing area to the other without being tagged. Except for Jack, we're going to reward him 10 points. But Sophie has to move in between two defenders every time she gets from one point to another. The next one we're going to look at is the equipment and the quantity of it and how we go about using it. So, same game again, but we're going to give Sophie a basketball and a tennis ball. She's got to throw and catch a tennis ball, she's got to bounce the basketball and complete all the tasks as well in order to score. Now for Jack, we're just giving him a beanbag. He just needs to hold that in his hand as he moves around the area, so it's going to make it a lot easier for him. And the final one we're going to look at is the opposition, or the amount of teammates that you have. Dead simple. All we're going to do is give Jack a personal bodyguard. So this might be someone else that's struggling as well, and the rule is that it only counts that Jack gets tagged if him and his shield or his bodyguard get tagged at the same time. Again, we're going to make sure that Sophie doesn't have that option because it's going to challenge her even further as an individual. We're now going to look at playing a 3 versus 3 football match and how we can use the principles to help again. So for example, when we look at space, we can change the area and the zones. So for Jack's team, to make the game a little bit easier, I might change the size of the scoring zone. I might also do the same with Sophie's. So now we play the game, it's going to be much easier for Jack to score because he's got a bigger goal to scoring. And we can also go back to using our different zones or areas. Jack in his own half can't be tackled by the opposition, but he can tackle Sophie's team anywhere in the area that he wants. We can change the task. So every time Jack team scores, it's worth 3 points, whereas when Sophie scores, it's only worth 1 point. And for example, Sophie might need to make 3, 4, 5 different passes before she can score. When she gets the ball, she might have to take somebody on before she can score. So we can throw her in additional challenges or additional tasks that she has to achieve before she can score. The next one we're going to look at is how we use the equipment. So for example, Jack's team might just be able to carry the ball and throw it into the goal to score. Sophie's team needs to be able to tag the ball to steal it off them and then must use their feet to go and score. We can also look at how much equipment we're using as well. So for example, Jack's team starts with the ball and so does Sophie's team. Jack can score normally, but for Sophie's team to score, they must have possession of both footballs. And the final one we're going to look at, and this one's probably the easiest fix, the amount of players, the amount of opposition, the amount of teammates that you have. So for example, all we're going to do is just swap an extra player over. Now the teams are 4 against 2 in favour of Jack's team. Now we can use each one of these in isolation, or, as we've done here, we can look to group them all together. Obviously their main aim is to make sure that Jack and Sophie are challenged appropriately. Hopefully that's been helpful. If there's anything else that I can do to help you guys out, just leave it in the comments and I'll see you next time. Thank you.